Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name's Ashleigh and today we're going to be doing my September TBR featuring not one, not two, but 3 readathons. Okay, so you can obviously tell from the title of this video, I will be participating in Bookopoly, the Magical Readathon, and Not Safe for Workathon. So these lovely readathons are hosted by Becca over at Becca and the Books, Paige from Pages with Paige, and the lovely G from Book Rotes. So I'll leave an announcement link to all their readathon announcements down below for you guys to check out. So let's get started. Okay, so for this TBR, we are going to do our Bookopoly rolls, but before I do that, I am going to give you guys a view at the books that I am not going to be part of the rolls and are just basically going to be the books that hopefully I can add to my prompts for the other readathons. Okay guys, so the first book on this list is a book club read, and that is going to be House of Salt and Sorrows by Erin A. Craig. This is part of the Fantasy Book Lovers Club. I'll leave a link to their Instagram down below so you guys can go check that out. So this is their monthly pick of the month, and I don't know too much about this. I know it's set in a mansion following 3 sisters, I think it is. I'm not too sure. But yeah, so this is their book club of the month pick. I really want to read this. I don't know too much about the plot other than that it's set in a mansion with 3 sisters. But yeah, I'm really hoping that this hits the mark for me, because this is the first book, I think, written by Erin. So yes, quite interested to see how that turns out. Okay guys, so the next book I want to read in September is for the Not Safe for Workathon prompt, and that is for dual perspective. So for this book I'm going with Furyborn by Claire Legrand. Now, I read this book a couple of years ago, back when it first came out. Kind of wanted to wait for the other 2 books in the series to come out, which they now have. So I am hoping to get this read in the month of September. I really enjoyed the first book from what I can remember. I don't know too much else, apart that it follows 2 women in 2 separate timelines. And from memory, I think they do converge later on. But yes, from what I can remember, I really loved this book when I first read it, and am very keen to dive into the sequel. Which brings us to prompt number 2 for Not Safe for Workathon, which is a book I have wanted to read for a while, and that is the sequel to Furyborn, which is Kingsbane. So again, I'm not going to go into too much detail about this because I don't know too much other than what I read in the first book, but this continues on from the second book, and I'm pretty sure it does continue to follow the dual perspectives as well leading on. Yeah, like I say, I can't tell you guys too much about this one because I haven't read it, but yes, I'm hopefully keen to get this read in the month of September. Okay guys, so the next prompt is a blindfold pick. So this is a book that you can either go into be blindfolded to pick or just go in blind, and for this one I have decided to go with Master of Sorrows by Justin Call. I know this has been a recent favourite of Ashleigh from A Frolic Through Fiction. I'll link her channel down below so you guys can go check that out as well. Don't know too much about this other than what the snippets I've heard, but I know from what I have read that it is set in a magical school, and I think this is going to be 10 books. Don't quote me on that, I'm not entirely sure. So if that is the case, it's going to be quite a long series, but I know this is mostly set in the school setting. I've heard Ashleigh talk about this quite a lot, and I'm quite interested to see what it's about. Not too sure I'll like it. Just generally isn't the kind of book I do go for normally, but like I say, I am quite interested to see what this is all about. Okay, so for the next Not Safe for Workathon prompt, this is a fireplace. So this is a book I consider hot, and this book, for this prompt, I am going to be reading Soul of Stars by Ashleigh Poston. So this is the sequel to Heart of Iron. This is a Anastasia retelling, which I loved the animated film as a kid, so this was right up my street. I absolutely adored the first book. So this follows a young girl called Anna who is orphaned as a child, and she is basically a pirate with a robot called Di, or DO9, and in the first book he has been glitching, and she basically wants to go and find the coordinates to essentially lead her to this planet that hopefully has the coordinates to send her to where she can find the cure for Di's condition, because he is unfortunately dying. And there is a little bit of LGBT, the queer rep in this as well, which I absolutely love. We definitely need more books with LGBT Q+. I'm so sorry if I screw that up. But yeah, so this is the sequel to Heart of Iron, like I said, and I really enjoyed the first book, gave it 5 stars. Quite interested to see where this one goes, and oh, just how pretty is that cover? Okay, so the next prompt is to read a standalone or an animal on the cover. So this is actually going to fulfill a prompt for Not Safe for Workathon and the Magical Readathon, and this one is Girl Serpent Thorn by Melissa Barshadaust. I hope I've said that right. So I read her Snow White retelling a couple of years ago, really enjoyed that, and this is a standalone following a girl who is essentially cursed from the day she was born, and no one can touch her pretty much. Other than that, I don't know too much about this. This is such a gorgeous cover, and like I said before, I loved her Snow White retelling, and that had a bit of queer rep in it as well, so hopefully this does as well. Okay guys, so the next prompt is going to be for the Magical Readathon, and this one was to read a thriller book. So for that one, I am going to be reading The Maidens by Alex Michaelides. Now, this is his second book. The first one was The Silent Patient, which I absolutely adored. I binge read that in a day. So this is set in Oxford University, where it basically follows this secretive group of people who, from what I can tell, cover up a couple of murders, and these 2 women who start investigating it are basically drawn into this web of lies, and this very, very secretive group who I'm pretty sure probably would do anything to keep their secrets safe. So quite interested to see what this is about. I've heard mixed reactions from this book. Hopefully I love it, because like I said, I loved The Silent Patient, binge read it in a day, so I'm hoping that that is the case with this one as well. Okay guys, so the last one for the Magical Readathon, which unfortunately I could not fit onto my Bookopoly rolls, was to read a book with supernatural elements. So this one I'm kind of cheating a little bit, because I'm going to bring over a book from last month's TBR, and that is The Blood Cancers by Tara Moss. So this was my blind pick for Pick Pongathon. I have started reading this as I'm recording this, but I'm not really sort of feeling the book at this stage. I'm kind of in a reading slump, so I've basically gone to reading other books that I want to read to get my reading mojo back, essentially. But this, from what I've read so far, it does have quite a few supernatural elements to it, so I thought that'd be perfect to fit the prompt for that. So this follows a young girl called Pandora, who is sent to New York to live with her aunt, and gets this job at a fashion magazine. And basically this first assignment she is assigned to is a blood serum called Blood of Youth, and the owner of that brand and the model who promotes it aren't necessarily probably good guys, from what I've read of the 100 pages of this. So hopefully I can carry this over into September and get it finished. Okay guys, so now that we've got those books out of the way, let's get into the first Bookopoly roll. Okay guys, so I've got my little Bookopoly board here all set up, a little cute Thor Ushi, and let's get into the first roll. Oh, sugar. It is a 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 humans. Okay, so roll number 1 was the humans prompt, and I'm very, very excited for this one, because this book is probably my most anticipated read of September, and that is The Gilded Cage by Lynette Noni. Now, this is the second book in the Prison Healer trilogy, and the Prison Healer follows Kiva, who is basically been imprisoned in death prison for the last about 7 years of her life, and one day the rebel queen is captured and she is essentially forced to take her place. So The Gilded Cage is probably one of my most anticipated reads of the month. I love Lynette Noni's writing, and I'm very, very excited to read this book for Bookopoly. Unfortunately it doesn't come out till the very end of September, but I'm sure as soon as I get it I will be binge reading that one straight away. Okay, so roll number 2. It is a 7. 1. New. Okay, so roll number 2 was a new book, and this this is working out so well for me, because this means I can fit another anticipated read for the month, which is The Heron's Cry by Ann Cleaves. So this is book number 2 in the long... Is it the long call? No, the Two Rivers trilogy. Sorry. Oh my... Is it even a trilogy? No, it's not. Oh my god, get it together, Ashleigh. I know this series. So this is book 2 in the Two Rivers series by Ann Cleaves, and this follows Detective Matthew Venn, who after the death of his father comes back and is enthralled in this new murder case. I love Ann Cleaves' books. She is probably one of my all-time favourite authors, and this is another anticipated release for the month of September. Okay, roll number 3. Is a double. And I just got me little card. And 1, 2. Cute. So roll number 3 was our first double, and this is cute vibes, and oh, I'm so excited to be reading Rainbow Grey by Laura Ellen Anderson. So for any of you who know Gav, this is one of his all-time favourites, and he even stars as a character in this book. So not too sure what it's about, but I'm very, very excited to read this, as I know it is a favourite of his, and he just loves the characters in this. Okay guys, so roll number 4 is a 5. Steal a book. Oh. Okay guys, so roll number 4 was to steal a book. So for this one, I am happy to be reading Assassin's Quest by Robin Hobb. So this is the 3rd book in the Farseer trilogy, and the Farseer trilogy follows a young boy called Fitz, who is the bastard but born son of the king, who basically turns up on their doorstep when he is about 6, and they don't really know what to do with him. So he is trained as an assassin to basically serve the crown. Now, I read Assassin's Apprentice in August. Didn't love it to start with, but absolutely loved it in the end. Gave that 4 stars. So hopefully I will read book 2 by the time all September comes around. But yes, so hopefully I will be reading this chunky boy during the month of September. Okay guys, roll number 5 is a double, another double. And this is a 4. Feed scroll. Okay, so for this one it was a feed pick, so I have to go to either any of my social medias, and the first book that comes up is the book I'm going to read. So I'm going to go to Goodreads, because that is the main source that I get most of my books from, apart from Instagram. But some of the books there I don't have or probably can't access, so I'm going to go to Goodreads, because it's more than likely I can find a book there that I do own and I can find. So apologise for this footage, because I don't have a tripod, so I'm going to go to Goodreads and see what we can come up with. Okay, so The Last Graduate, and that is from Becca. Okay, now I haven't read the first one, but I do have it, so it looks like we will be reading Deadly Education. Okay guys, so prompt number 5 was another double. Now, as you saw, I landed on Feed Scroll. So for that I landed on the sequel to Deadly Education. But now, unfortunately, I haven't read the first one. So for that I will be reading A Deadly Education by Naomi Novik. This is the first in a trilogy called The Scholomance, and from what I've seen, this follows a young girl called Elle, who basically has to pass this series of trials to get into this academy to learn magic. Not too sure what else the plot is apart from that, but I quite like Naomi Novik's writing, and this is probably one of the another anticipated read of September. Quite happy to see where this goes. I know some people don't particularly like the writing style in this, but like I say, I am quite keen to see where this goes. Okay guys, roll number 6 is a 7. A big book. Oh, that works perfectly. Okay, so prompt number 6 was a big book, and this is another one I am very, very excited for, and that is Empire of the Vampire by J. Kristoff. This is his new book, and I know it is the first in a series. I don't know how many books there are going to be. Basically, the plot of this one follows a man called Gabriel, who is the last of the human race in a world that's been overtaken by vampires. That is pretty much all I can give in terms of plot, but I know quite a few people are excited for this book, and so am I. J. Kristoff is, of course, an Australian author, and I'm always up for supporting Australian authors. Okay guys, and what should hopefully be the last roll is a 5. And community shelf card. And we have lowest rated. Okay, and prompt number 7 was lowest rated. Now, I just had a good look on Goodreads to see what that was, and that is Evermore by Sarah Holland. This is the sequel to Everless. I read this a couple of years ago, didn't pick up the sequel at all after it came out. It's been on my TBR for a long time, so hopefully I will finally read this. So this is set in a world where time is essentially a precious gift, and it's a precious commodity as well. So basically people trade time for essentials that I can't say. I don't remember much of the plot in this, but from my vague memory of what happened, that is the basic overview of this one. Okay guys, so here is my stack of books for the month. This is my TBR. I'm not going to try and pick them up because I can't get them in camera. So feel free to pause this video and have a little browse through the stack if you want to steal a book from this TBR. Okay guys, so that is my September TBR for these readathons. I will be leaving a link on Twitter to the infographic with all the books, and the prompts I will be fulfilling if you guys want to use that. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so, and I shall see you in the next one.